little late night plane spotting on one of the side streets. I'm on George Street here in Kenner. Let's see. Damn, it's so like deserted back here. This used to be a warehouse building right here, like circa 2011. We're about to get a flyover, a good one too. It's gonna fly right over. Looks like a Southwest Airlines 737. That's what you'll see mostly around here. I just saw a Delta, like an A319 come in a few minutes ago. Man, this is totally different back here now. Let's go ahead and we'll make a little video driving around back here. This is in on George Street in Kenner. This is Hickory Avenue. So this area around here was not so much where we are right now, but a couple of blocks further back, we're facing the river. Okay, so this is the railroad tracks. Mississippi River is about 3 blocks straight ahead that way. You have Jefferson Highway. They call it 3rd Street out here, but so right now we're facing west because we just took a right. See a couple more flying around over there. They're off towards like maybe Norco right now. But anyway, I'm going to turn here. This is Hickory Street. Hickory Street, something like that. I used to hang out back here a lot from like about 2011, 2012, up in that time. I used to come and sit up here in this area. This was a building right here. Right about here was a building, and this used to be a salvage car lot. So you'd see like a lot of wrecked vehicles waiting to go to auction, kind of like Copart is if you go out New Orleans East. It was just a little salvage lot. There was a little street leading to it. You can see right here where they barricaded it off. I used to sit on this street sometimes. And then that building was right there. This right here was a cell phone lot, and I missed this thing. They've locked it up since then, but this was my place. This parking lot right here. This was my place. This was my home when I was like 14. I spent every single day out here, hours. There's the old airport. We're turning on Airline at Hickory Street. Turning on Airline. There's the old airport. Let's bring it down. They used to park right there sometimes too, these airplanes, back in the day. A long, long time ago now. So there's airport access road right here. This light always stays green. It will never turn red. It's just set to stay green all the time. It's cruising down Airline. Is that wind noise bothering y'all? Let's go ahead and get all of our stuff shut up. Shut the window. Shut the sunroof. Let's just do a little long driving video tonight. I'm feeling it. I haven't made a long video in a long time. We'll go ahead and do it. Alright. Airline and Williams. Should probably clean my windshield. I washed my car yesterday. They just built that storage building right there about 3 years ago, although it was when I was not living down here. Oh man, caught in the transmission. He's been there since the 70s, so I've been told. It's Peller Milner. Roosevelt and Airline. My old stomping ground right here. This is the facto boundary. Now we're in Metairie. No longer in Kenner. There's a sign right there to the right. Let's see. Old Bunch Village over there. That used to be a gas station about 15 years ago called Airport Fuel, and this was Bryan Chevrolet, which was bought out by Matt Bowers. They took away the awning in the front. That is the dealership that we got the 2007 RDX from back in 2016. Let's see, we're getting up. Oh, and there used to be, I don't know if any of y'all remember, but back, I'd say like 2000, up until about 2005 or 2010, there used to be some trees right up along where I'm pointing right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but there was some, I guess they were pine trees. They just looked bigger than pine trees to me, but what do I know? I was a kid. But I remember there were some trees right there. They cut them down. Let's see. Big green shopping center to the left. I know my video's not focusing pretty well. I do apologize for that. Let's see. They built this building here about 2007, that Jefferson Financial building. That building is also new, and so is the Pawn Depot. And this Dollar General right here is built maybe in 2000, I want to say like 2011? It's the old bingo hall. And now we're coming up to the light at Little Farms. So, for those of you that don't live down here, which I know a lot of my subscribers don't live down here, we're almost to David Drive. So if you look further ahead, well, you wouldn't be able to tell in the video, but it's maybe about a mile ahead, not quite a mile ahead, about 3/4 of a mile. That's where the Zephyr Stadium is. So if any of you guys, especially my Slidell guys, if y'all remember Zephyr's games or hearing about the Zephyr's team, that's not too far from here, nor is the Saints training facility. Both of those buildings are located about 3/4 of a mile ahead and on the right. Now we're turning on Hickory Street. That's David Drive looking north into Metairie. This is called Hickory, although I call it Dickory because other than for this one little block, it doesn't even really line up, but whatever. So we're going down, technically Hickory. This is where it veers off. This was all reconfigured back in probably 90s, I'm guessing. Hickory no longer crosses. They've capped it off into tracks back there. So you can go up to this bridge. These lights are still out from Hurricane Ida. There was like a warehouse building right there years ago. I'd say I'm talking like 2001, like a long time ago now. Here's something cool. You can actually see downtown New Orleans from here. It's about 7 miles away. You can see the blue Honey Oshner building. It's really hard to see, but it's out there. My phone's not focusing well at all. I barely made any videos on it. This is my first long video on this phone. But Oshner on campus, and then downtown New Orleans is over that way. This used to be a big dirt mound right here. They've slowly taken it away over the years. That's a Maze Yard for the training department. I think Canadian National runs it. So right here on the right, there was actually some trees right here. They cut them down about a month ago, but those trees have been there my whole life. This, off to the left, is the end of Earhart Expressway. It goes from Mid-City, it comes out here, and it was to continue on to the area that I started the video in over in Kenner, but it would have gone through so many neighborhoods, they decided not to continue the road on like that. That was, I don't know, that was a long time ago now when they were thinking about doing that. Let's go ahead, we're going to continue on into Harahan. Here's Shimmy Shack, off to the right. Creek's apartment. This is actually, some people call this River Ridge. If anything, I think it's more Elmwood, but whatever. Let's go ahead and turn right here. We're going to turn right here on, I don't remember the name of this street, but it used to be a two-way street. Now it's a one-way street. There used to be a place called the Cellars of River Ridge. They had a 1 pound hamburger. They closed maybe like 2010, 2011. I never did get to try it, fortunately. Citrus used to cut through. They went ahead and stopped it right here, rerouted the traffic, closed it off, made a little park. That's the first Zia's restaurant. If any of y'all have been to a Zia's Cafe or Zia's, whatever it is, I don't even know what they call it. That's the Zia's Rotisserie, something like that. That's the first one, with that one right here. Okay, we're on Hickory Avenue right now. Just sit back, enjoy, and obey the speed limit. This police department is pretty aggressive. This is in Harahan. Coming up here on the left, the old car wash. Looks like they got a little tree lot going right here, right past it. That's new, they just did put that up. Just a little seasonal tree lot. They built a few of these houses right here off to the right about 10 years ago. I don't remember what was there before that. It's the old Hickory Cafe. Bella Ridge apartment complex, very expensive apartments. And here's something interesting. This building back here, trying to pan towards it, that's actually, let me think, that's actually Cisco. So if you ever see the Cisco trucks in the area, that's where they're going from. That's their regional warehouse for down here. This was just built about 6 months ago. This Hot Works. VFW. These buildings right here are actually featured a bunch of times on NCIS New Orleans, if you happen to watch that show. A little fun fact, right behind the Hot Works, there's a parking lot with a little blue trailer, and I'm not sure if he's open right now or not, but that's actually Droopy Snowball. So if any of y'all Harahan people remember him, he's actually operating right now back there. Here's the Harahan playground. I think one of my subscribers said something about he used to go there when he was a kid, but that's where it's at right there. Alrighty, let's see. They've reconfigured these little crossovers from Dickory to Hickory several times over the years, but I haven't seen any adjustments to it recently. That building, I'm not sure what it is. It's like parking downstairs. It reminds me of almost some of the buildings that are at East Jefferson Hospital. It was built about 2000, I think 2008, something like that, 2007. That's brand new, actually, that building right there. I think this video might turn out pretty good on my new phone. It looks like they cleared a lot right there. Alright, now we're coming to Wilson Street. Pigots, not Pigots. Went a little antique shop. You got the Caz's sandwich shop. This is now Bienvenue restaurant, but back when I was a kid, it was called Bailey's Cafe, and it was a guy in my Cub Scout pack. One of his family members owned it, and he had fried Twinkies. Unfortunately, I never did get to try them, though. See, now we're on Hickory Avenue. We just came around the curve, getting pretty close to Jefferson Highway, but I'm gonna turn on 2nd Street, actually, so you can see what they call it now. Okay, coming up here on the left, it's a restaurant called Cedar Seafood. It's been there since right before Katrina. My grandmother loved the place. She lived right by here. She used to go there quite a lot, but it's gotten really popular over the past few years. Got Crescent City signs. The big brown house is no more. Blue house is gone. It's all different now. The old car wash. It's funny because I actually work at a car wash now. And this car wash was actually a little old self-serve, little 4-stall wash right here in the front. And first money I made in my life was actually pennies picked up on the ground in the parking lot of that car wash. And now I actually got a car wash now, and I still see the pennies on the ground, and I see that every day, and I think about that. It's Colonial bowling lanes. Old bowling alley, they painted the front different. Red Wagon Grocery, excellent place to get you po' boys and salads and stuff. Been open since about as old as New Orleans. Let's see. Oak Oven. I apologize. It used to be Popeyes. Darien Elementary, my old school. We got Robert Snowballs. This big new house that they just built right here about a year ago. Let's see, we're coming up on St. Rita Catholic Church. It's right here on the left. Then this little shopping center was built in like 03. That was the first Quiznos in the area. There's St. Rita. It's hard to see because it's dark. Old Bank 1, now Chase Bank. Tasty Donuts. The signs are off. I don't know if they've reopened since Ida. Dollar General, which that actually used to be, I believe that was a K&B, but that's ancient history now. Old Burger King, they finally tore it down, although it had been closed since 2000. There is no, for any of you wondering, Harahan is a town of about 10,000 people. It is the safest city in Louisiana, despite being 5 miles from New Orleans. It is also home to no fast food restaurants and no grocery stores. They're close by. They're just right over the city limits in River Ridge or Elmwood or Metairie, but there is absolutely nothing as far as retail goes here except for Dollar General, Walgreens, and about 3 or 4 gas stations and maybe 10 little family-owned mom-and-pop restaurants, and that's about it for this town. Walgreens, that used to be Rite Aid. My apologies, that was K&B. The other place is actually an auto parts store. They built that about 10 years ago. Charlie's Seafood, they just added this second floor to it in the past week. Put up very quickly, actually. Coming up on the left here. Looks like they're building a Smoothie King. But they've been taking their time with it. It's been several months. So here's a funny story. This house right here, little house right there. It's hard to see. The front wall was not anchored properly and it actually fell off. All the bricks fell off and it was just the wood behind it, and they've kept it that way. A friend of mine lived in that house years ago. She said she heard a loud boom and walked outside and saw the bricks laying on the ground. Alright, let's see. We're coming up on Hazel Park Elementary. This is the elementary school that serves River Ridge. This was actually a metal building years ago. It's now a library. But it was a big metal building years ago, and an 18-wheeler actually veered off and hit it and destroyed it, and then it was an empty lot for about 10 years. Bobby's Seafood, the best potato salad, just like my great-grandmother used to make. Let's see, we're coming up on Moss Street. It's like a little garden center. Looks like a nice business. Some type of automotive center. Village Inn restaurant. I don't know if they've reopened since Ida. That's been there as long as I can remember. This Starbucks right here actually used to be a Taco Bell. And the guy was coming around a turn years ago and he did not slow down. He was on a motorcycle and ran smack into the Taco Bell and unfortunately he did not survive. That was probably like 2004. It was a long time ago now. This man, he used to decorate. I think I mentioned that in one of our previous videos. I've filmed this area before. I'm just doing a little update. Trying out my new phone. So, you know, I like the recording on it. Wow, we're already to almost 20 minutes. Pretty long, probably boring video. This is Citrus, by the way. We passed this street earlier, although it was about a mile down that way. The shape of all this is actually kind of weird because we're following the contour of the river. This is Jefferson Highway, by the way. I've been on this since right before that bowling alley. Getting to the heart of River Ridge now. Highland Plaza, the McDonald's, they've torn it down and rebuilt it a few years ago. It used to face the other way and it had a playland in the front. So this used to be Bromart right there, used to be Del Champs. CVS was Eckerd's. This was Blockbuster. Walgreens was built in 2011. This right here was a Pizza Hut. Brake tags. Get your brake tags. Back there, other shopping center I showed, but a Taco Bell used to be the Bromart. And had a little round window in the front. I thought that was so cute when I was a kid. It's now the Goodwill. They've opened this park right here about a year ago. Never used to be anything right there. They just built a park and opened it. This right here was the Walgreens, where they moved it back over there and built a new building. You can still see the Whitney Bank clock right there now that it's Hancock Whitney. But they kept the old clock up, which I love. And Whitney actually used to be back there by the Bromart. Farther down, we have Dollar General and Langenstein's. Down there where Dollar General is actually used to be a slot car racing track that I have connections to from many, many years ago. But that's ancient history. Let's see. What school is that? St. Matthew. I think it's St. Matthew. They opened a Bud's Broiler again over here. There used to be a Bud's Broiler back over there, and it's where the Rotolo's is now. River Ridge Discount. You got a China Taste. It's not a bad place. This is Little Farms. We crossed this. We also hit the other end of this light on Airline about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. It was a little while ago now. That used to be a BP gas station. So this little building right here by this camper, I don't know if you can see the little camper, this building with the lights on it, that actually, it's called Trebon, and it's this guy from Lafayette. And it's like a specialty meats place from Lafayette, and it's actually really good. It's kind of different to see something like that around here. You usually don't see places like that until you get, at least on the other side of Baton Rouge. So it's kind of cool to have some of that Western Louisiana diversity over here. But before that, it was actually this place called Dewey's, and he had these seafood platters, and he would be so overstuffed. He would actually have to tape them closed. It came in a styrofoam container, like a to-go container. And the guy actually used to have to tape them closed because he just overstuffed the plates so much. It used to be Hillbilly Barbecue, the second building back. Then he moved to Hickory, and I think he's gone out of business since. His condos are kind of new. They built them about 18 years ago. It's John Curtis. You know, the John Curtis sports team everyone always talks about? Well, that's them. I think when they had the, what was it, a baseball team, Louisiana baseball team, Little League, Louisiana, that won like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it was a while ago now, but I remember being all on TV and everything, and it was like this Little League World Series or whatever. They actually were from that school too, John Curtis. Or they actually played on the John Curtis field. It wasn't affiliated with the school, I think they were just using their field. Okay, this is Fillmore Street. Now we're crossing back into Kenner. This was also Roosevelt where the video began. I basically just made a big loop. We're pretty much almost back where we started. This is one of the not so nice parts of town, but it's only a couple of blocks. Here's the railroad tracks. This time we're not going to cross on a bridge. We're going to cross just directly over them. This is a pretty bumpy one too. Pretty much have to come to a complete stop to cross these. I don't know how this video is going to come out. long. Now coming back to the light at Roosevelt, Williams and Roosevelt. So we're gonna go straight. We're gonna get one more thing on video. So if you guys are wondering, we came through here a little while ago. This is Kenner, where Kenner and Metairie meet. So this is Metairie. Right here where my hand is. All of that's Kenner. Metairie is 142,000 people. Kenner is, I believe, like 70,000. Metairie's unincorporated. Kenner is incorporated. Just waiting on this light to turn green. We're gonna go. I'm gonna show y'all where the Pan Am crash was, since we're close to that. It's the neighborhood I grew up in. See, it gets a lot nicer. They put these lights up about 2 years ago, but I think it looks nice. I wish they would continue to West Metairie with it.